let's just be honest with each other here for a second, man. If you're getting in your car and you're planning on spending a lot of the time over the weekend tailing your husband because you think he might be cheating, that relationship might be over.
That might be your sign.
Yeah, time to leave.
If, you're hacking into his email or into her email, or you're checking your car. We had some time ago from somebody that thinks that her husband was putting all sorts of tracking devices. It's over, man.
You know how you asked the question earlier, when did you know the sexy had left your relationship? Maybe in this instance is when did you know it was over? When I was halfway through a doggy door breaking into my ex's house.
Right.
I should have known right then and there.
Right.
It was over.
Right.
When you're recruiting a friend so you can use her car to tell your husband, might be over.
And that's what we were telling Candace on Friday also, because your suggestion, I think, was get a friend. If you're going to go into psycho here, at least do it as a group.
Well, at least you can have a buddy with,
Little psycho partner.
Because she didn't know if she should rent a car, because obviously her husband's going to recognize her car. So I'm like, we just recruit a friend, and that way you can make a girl day out of it.
All right, Candace, again, explain to us exactly what got you to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so several months ago, I was promoted, and it was a job that has me traveling quite often, and my husband was very enthusiastic and supportive of me taking this position, and I think that started it.
Too enthusiastic, huh? He's like, dang, maybe that's not far enough.
I know, because I was not, I was considering not, because I like being around him, and so that, I think that was, sort of the tip, and then I just happened to notice we have one of those cameras on our front door for packages. So I get little notifications when, a package comes, or when somebody, is knocking on the door, or somebody enters or exits the house, basically. And we don't use it all that often, but I just happened to notice a few months back while I was away that I was never getting notifications when he got home from work. And so then I would just I can also watch from my phone, the camera, at the times that I know that he gets home. We've lived in the same house for a dozen years now. I know his routine. And I just noticed that it wasn't, specifically on Friday nights, I wasn't seeing him come home on Friday. And, that's sort of my only way to sort of check in. And I asked him about it, because I wasn't, I wasn't getting too crazy so early on. I asked, what's going on? I noticed that, I'm not getting little notifications for the, front door on Friday nights when you're gone. Are you working late on a project, or, what's going on? And he was just like, oh no, I was home. I just, I used the other door. And I was like, okay, why? You never use that door. And he's like, I don't know. I just did. And then it continued on Fridays when I was gone. I would notice, and I'm like, well, now I've said that I've noticed it. Why? What is going on? And I think my imagination, because he wasn't really giving me anything, he was just sort of brushing me off.
Sure.
Went to town.
Sure. All right. So your idea on Friday was to get into a car or a friend's car or whatever and tail him on Friday night. He thought you were going to be out of town, and you were going to tail him and find out where this dude is going.
Yes. He thought I was traveling for work. I was not. I thought it was a great idea to try to get one of my girlfriends to use their car and go with me and make it a little less tense. But I couldn't rope anyone into it. So I ended up renting a car. I priced out Uber, and it was just, since I didn't know how long I was going to need it, I just ended up renting one for the weekend.
Okay.
And yeah, so I parked kitty corner across from his work where I know he parks. I watched him leave on Friday, and I, very stealthily, I think, followed him, and he did not go home. He left work and he went straight to his parents' house. And I thought, okay, cool. That's best case scenario, I guess.
It's a weird place to have an affair. I'll tell you that. Bring the mistress over to your parents' house, but okay, it's good camouflage.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's, I parked, a little ways away, and I waited, and he stayed there, and I was there for a while. It was getting pretty late, so I was like, okay, maybe he's spending the night. I went to my hotel. In the morning, I hadn't gotten any notifications for him going home, so I just kind of rode by his parents' house, and his car was still there. So I was like, okay, childhood bedroom, I guess, whatever. So I went back to my hotel because I felt like I couldn't go and run errands or anything because I'm supposed to be away. So I kind of trapped myself in this hotel room.
You're in hiding.
I'm in hiding. And I heard I did get a notification finally in the afternoon, and looked at my phone, and on the camera, he was entering the house. I was like, sweet. And then I got a notification a few hours later, and he was leaving the house. I was like, okay. He's allowed to, do it. It's a Saturday. He's allowed to. I'm not trying to say he can't go and do things,
of course, yeah.
But just on the inkling that he was going back to his parents' house, I waited a little bit, and I drove by his parents' house, and his car was there. His car was there again. So he went home for a few hours, and then he went back to his parents' house.
This is all good news, right?
It is. I think so. I mean, I can't really ask him about it.
Why wouldn't he tell you that, though?
I know.
Why wouldn't he come clean and just say, yeah, Friday nights I've been hanging out with my parents?
Yeah, I don't know. And now I feel kind of, well, I do obviously feel bad for not trusting him in the first place, but then I'm like,
What's
I
he
feel
doing?
even worse because I feel like he can't tell me that he's going to hang out with his parents while I'm gone. Like,
Can he not cook?
well, no, he's not great at cooking. No, he can grill.
But when do you primarily handle like all the meal preps and stuff like that when you're in town?
When I'm home, yeah, I do.
He's going over there to eat.
He's not gonna hide that.
You don't have to hide that,
You don't have to
though.
hide that.
Yeah.
My mind went somewhere totally different.
What?
It went to
Oh,
it kind of went to a morbid place, almost like one of his parents was sick and they promised him not to say anything to anybody.
Go there.
Oh my God.
So he's going over there like on Friday nights to take care of him, then heading back on Saturdays. That's the only thing that I could think of.
But I'm sure you see the family. It's not like you don't ever see them.
Yeah, I mean, I see them less now that I travel so much, but yeah, I mean.
Do you know that
I
the
would feel
parents
so
were
bad
there?
for them.
Like, did they have a car?
Yeah, their car was there.
Huh.
Parents are actually home.
So why would you keep that from your wife, that you're just going over to their house every Friday night?
I mean, where my head jumped was that he doesn't want her to think that he can't take care of himself, and that when she goes out of town, he goes running back to mom and dad's and has mom like do his laundry and cook his meals for him.
So you've got this this would certainly ease your mind, but now you got another mystery on your hands here. Like, how you can't tell him, like, hey, I rented a car and I was staking you out and tailing you and realized that you're over here. You can't.
No, you cannot do that.
You can't bust in the parents' house.
No.
I got you.
And that's the thing. I'm feeling so, I don't know if I should be like, hey, we should invite your parents over more often for dinner. Or like, I want him to know that I love those guys. Like,
weird, though. I can't think of anything.
so weird.
All right. Well, the good news is he's not cheating, right?
Exactly.
Unless someone's living in that house you don't know about. Maybe you need to go over there and just scope every inch of the house. All right, Candace, thanks for the update. When he comes clean and you guys figure out why he's there on Friday nights, let us know, okay?
I absolutely will. Thank you so much.
A mystery to me.
The Bert Show.
Like what you just watched? Well, you can get way more of The Bert Show on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your favorite podcast.